Grow lights. If you're gonna grow indoors, you definitely need them. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't know how to use them. So in today's episode, I'm gonna demystify grow lights, and we're gonna talk about how to use them to the best of their ability so you can grow healthier plants indoors. Let's go. So when it comes to grow lights, these are tools. You have a spade, you might have a shovel, you might have your hands as tools, but these are tools. And if you don't know how to use them, they're not going to be able to work for you as good as they can. And so when it comes to grow lights, I get a lot of people writing in asking about how to use them or which ones are best and the differences between them. And so we've done a lot of videos about grow lights, but in today's episode, we're really going to hone in on grow light specifics so that we're basically going to demystify grow lights in a very short, simple, and sweet way. Because we did a video going over to the hardware store where we actually went and we looked at all the different grow light options or what could be a grow light. And we basically compared all of them to find the one that was best from the hardware store. And that prompted a lot of you to ask questions, and I thought this would be a really great follow-up episode to that episode. And so what we're gonna do is we're first gonna compare compact fluorescent and LEDs and really break those down, because those are the two you're probably gonna come in contact with the most when looking at grow lights. This is a compact fluorescent. Now you've probably seen this before. These have been on the market for a long time. A compact fluorescent is just a glass-filled tube that has gas inside that tube that when electricity is ran through the tube, it actually will start to illuminate. And that's what gives off the light. Now, what's great about compact fluorescents is the fact that they are very inexpensive. These tubes here, these are T8s. These lights here run on T5s. We're still using compact fluorescents even today. They are very inexpensive. And so if you're looking for a way to get into grow lights and not spend a lot of money, compact fluorescents are definitely the way to go. But they do have a downside. Compact fluorescents are a tad bit inefficient. And the reason why is because electricity it's energy, right? It can be given off either in the form of heat or in the form of light. Now, the thing is that because energy cannot be created or destroyed, it has different forms, right? So the energy in these, about maybe 30% of it is given off in the form of heat. It's not hot enough where you could cook an egg, but it's hot enough to where you could probably borderline melt some wax. It's about maybe 100, 110 degrees on top of this light here. Pretty warm. Compare that to like an LED. LEDs run very cool because most of that energy is converted into light rather than heat, making these very inexpensive but quite inefficient. This is an LED. Now, one great thing about LEDs, you'll notice when I turn it on, is the light is immediate. Compact fluorescents have a warm-up period, and that warm-up period is the time that it takes for that gas, when you turn the light on, to actually begin heating up and emitting light. It takes about 30 to 45 seconds. What's great about LEDs? Instant light, 100% light right away, and that is awesome. Now, you'll probably notice a couple other things. When I turn it towards you, you'll probably notice a flickering. That flickering is because these lights are pulsing. That pulsing is how LEDs actually work. You'll notice there's no pulse with things like compact fluorescents because they operate totally differently. But also what you'll notice, way less heat. That heat is it's there, but we're talking maybe like 75 to 80 degrees. It's like warm to the touch, but that's about it. These lights get borderline hot. Now you'll also notice these lights, because they get so hot, they need a ballast. That's a little fan that blows that actually reduces the amount of heat built up inside the fixtures. These can have a really low profile because they don't need a ballast. They actually operate so cool that all that excess heat doesn't have a chance to build up and overheat. So it's really nice. You'll also probably notice super bright. And why is that? It's because these lights are so efficient. Compact fluorescents use a lot of that excess energy to create heat, not necessarily all light. LEDs convert most of their electricity into light. And so this light is the same exact length as this light here. This light, 3,000 lumens. This light, about 1,200 lumens. About 3 times brighter because there's not as much energy being wasted in the form of heat. So this is way more efficient. Now, regardless if you're going with compact fluorescent or LED, the choice is yours. And that's what's really nice about being an indoor gardener or starting seeds with grow lights is that you have so many options. Back 10, 15 years ago, you might only have 1 or 2 options to choose from. Nowadays, the world is your oyster. You have so many different options, and that's what's great, is you can pick one that meets your growing style and your budget, which is awesome. Now, I do want to say that when you're looking at compact fluorescents or LEDs, there's going to be a lot of things that people throw at you. And this is the second portion of today's video that I really want to drive home, is that when you decide between compact fluorescent or LED, that's usually the easiest decision. The hardest decision is figuring out what type of light or what style of light you actually need, because there's lots of specs that come with these lights that get really confusing, but they don't have to. I'm going to break those down. Now, one term you're going to be hearing a lot with grow lights is Kelvin. A lot of people get hung up on what this actually means, but it's not as complicated as it has to be. So I'm going to explain what Kelvin actually is and how it pertains to your plants. When it comes to Kelvin, Kelvin is really simple. It's basically the color of light being given off. So if you are this happy sun, you're giving off light. And that light is coming down and it's touching this plant. Don't judge my drawings, I'm not Picasso. But when that light hits this leaf, the color that's given off is green. The color being absorbed is either red in color or blue in color. And the color that is blue is going to have more of an ability to create energy for the plant. Red is typically seen in later in the season, think fall, autumn, you get the sun lower in the sky, that red light seeps in. It's more of a kind of a warm color light. That is more of a fruiting light, whereas blue has more of an ability to grow plants. And so that is where the Kelvin scale comes in. So basically it's as simple as this. If you think the opposite of yourself, that's what a plant is going to love. So if you're thinking cozy book in a den, I like to be in like a 2000 Kelvin, like an incandescent lighted room. It's very cozy. Plants hate it. But I hate to be in a doctor's office. It makes me feel pale, makes me feel like I'm sick, makes me feel like I need to go for a checkup, and I don't like that. But plants love that. So think like a plant and put them in an environment that you would normally feel uncomfortable with, because that is the light that's going to grow the best. Now, 5000 Kelvin is what I consider to be the minimum threshold for a grow light, up to 6500 Kelvin. That's going to give you the best chance of photosynthesizing and creating energy for your plant. So it's really simple. Blue light happy, red light sad. All right, one quick final little aid to help you understand the color spectrum and the Kelvin of a light is really simple. We have our light boxes here, and these light boxes give off a different color light based on what we want to choose. And so you can actually choose a very warm light or a very cool light. Warm, cool, warm, cool. Very simple to understand. The higher the Kelvin you go, the more blue it gets. The lower the Kelvin, the more spooky or warm it gets. I could cozy up to a good book with this light, but I would not want to cozy up to a book in this light. I'd be in like a doctor's office. Now, once you understand the idea of Kelvin, there's one final thing you need to understand when picking out a grow light, and that is lumens. Lumens is light. That simple. So it's really important that you learn how to use lumens to help you grow your plants, because at face value, lumens don't really mean a whole lot. Like, yeah, they mean the amount of energy being given off in the form of light, but are you going to sit there and grow plants with this lighter? Of course you're not. That's stupid, because most of the heat is being used from that energy. It's not really giving off that many lumens. That might only have 10, 20 lumens in it. This light, on the other hand, has 1000 lumens. Are you going to grow plants with this light? No, probably not, because 1000 lumens, it probably doesn't have that. Maybe it has like 800 or 900, but keeping that simple, let's say this light has 1000 lumens. You're still not going to sit there and grow plants with this light, because it's not enough lumens. And so lumens equates to the amount of energy being given off, but there is a certain threshold that like you could easily read a book under this light. But does a plant read a book? No. So we can't look at it like that. Otherwise, if we were going off that metric, like I can read a book by candlelight, right? I could walk through a cave with this light, and it's going to give me some light that I can use to see. But plants don't have eyes. They have what I would consider solar panels, and that's how you should be looking at it. So by keeping that in your mind of plants being like solar panels instead of having eyes, helps you kind of get a better understanding of what you want to go for with grow lights. I prefer at a minimum of right around 2000 lumens. Now 2000 lumens, again, doesn't mean a whole lot, because there's one additional thing we're going to throw in here. You have your Kelvin, you have your lumens, which I say is at a bare minimum of 2000 lumens, but that is only at about 6 to 7 inches away from your plant, or distance. Distance makes a huge difference because this light, imagine you're in a cave. If you're right up against a wall, you're gonna be able to see that wall pretty well. You take this candle or this lighter and you go 5-10 feet out, you're only gonna see so far. And that's because that light is only able to travel a certain distance. Same thing applies to this spotlight here, this soft light. This soft light, if my hand is a plant, right? We'll keep it down for example here. My plant, and the light's very high. The closer I get, the brighter my hand gets. Is that magic? No, it's not magic. It's just basic physics. And that's because light gets wasted. Light gets wasted as it gets dispersed throughout the room. That's why I can have it pointed on me and you can see my shadow because yes, it's pointing at me, but light is also being wasted. The closer I get, the less light is wasted. And that means the less lumens you actually need to grow your plant. And so where that really equates to 2,000 lumens is very simple. 2,000 lumens gives you the lowest threshold at around 6 to 7 inches where your plants are going to be obtaining that growable light without having a lot of wasted light. So the more lumens you have, basically the higher or the greater the distance can be between your plants and the lights. People always ask, Luke, how do I know how high to have my grow lights? It's very simple, and this is the equation I'll give you. It's very, very simple. Every light will have how many lumens it gives off, okay? Lumens can be added. If I have one light that has 1,000 lumens, if I have 2 of them, I have 2,000 lumens. If I have 3 of them, I have 3,000 lumens. I can add until my heart's content because lumens can be added. Remember that. At 2,000 lumens, I want my lights about 6 to 7 inches away from my plants, assuming everything is correct. The Kelvin is correct. The lumens are at 2,000 lumens. The distance is correct at about 6 to 7 inches. Every 1,000 lumens you go up, you can go up roughly about an inch. So at 3,000 lumens, you can go up about 7 inches. At 4,000 lumens, you can go up about 8 inches. At 5,000 lumens, you can go up about 9 inches. Keeping math very simple. That's the guide that I go by. And that's why these lights here are as far away as they are, because these lights here are right around 20,000 lumens. 20,000 lumens allows me to grow my plants about 2 feet away from the lights. And that gives me awesome versatility with my lights, but you could never take a light that is 2,000 lumens and have it this high up. The reason why? There's not enough lumens getting down to the plant, the solar panel, to create energy for the plant. A lot of it's being wasted throughout the room. So that is Growlights Demystified. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. If you did, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and also make sure to go check out the other video we did about the most inexpensive grow light that you can find at a hardware store. I hope this really helped. I hope that it helped to kind of clear up some of those questions and confusion you might have about grow lights, and I hope I made it kind of not only educational, but also fun to watch, because a lot of this stuff is very number heavy, it's very fact heavy, and it really bogs people down. But hopefully I made it in kind of a fun and exciting way for you to learn something and be able to go out, pick a light, and literally look at the specs of that light and say, that light is gonna work for me. Because you have the distance, you have the Kelvin, and you have the lumens. Everything else, do this. People are gonna talk to you, and I can't hear you. That's the simplest way to think about it. Because if you go online, you're gonna hear a million other things, and then you're gonna start to doubt yourself. Just plug your ears. You have the distance, you have the Kelvin, you have the lumen. Distance, Kelvin, lumen, that's all you need. Those 3 things, everything else, earplugs, please. Awesome. I'll see you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, grow bigger. Take care. Bye.